O Saradomin, please bless thy flips with plenty o gold and riches.
Yeah, sure, whatever, kid.
Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another flipping challenge, and in this episode, we're only flipping God-related items, as you could probably tell from the intro. I think it's pretty self-explanatory for this one, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Leave a like if you do enjoy, and of course, let me know in the comment section below what challenge you want me to do next. I love hearing your guys' suggestions. 1 hour on the clock, 300 mil in the stack. It's time to make some bank. Let's get into the challenge, starting it now. Now, the first few items I want to do are those fast trading PVM items. Now, the Armadillo Godsword and the Bandos Godsword are going to be those really quick flips that we can do right off the bat that should make us some pretty safe GP. So I think I'm going to go ahead and list a few of those, and we're going to see if we can hunt some good margins on those. On top of that, after we do list these Bandos items and the Armadillo Godswords as well, I'm going to try to cycle into maybe some Bandos chest plates. We don't have a ton of GP to work with. We can't just go list everything all willy-nilly and be fine with it. We do need to be a little bit conservative with our cash at points. So let's be careful here, make sure we're listing things safely and properly, and we're going to make as much money as possible. All right, a few minutes in, quick update. We did the Bandos chest plates. We margin checked those. We're getting about 20k on them, which is fine. We could get better, but we're going to take it for now. We are trying to get as many flips in as possible within this hour. On top of that, we checked a massive margin on the Saradomin D'hide body, so I'm going to try to turn these around as quickly as possible because I don't really think the margin is going to stay very long. I've never seen a margin like this on the Saradomin D'hide bodies before. It is an item I have flipped in the past and flipped pretty frequently in the past. I've never flipped the Unholy Blessings before, or any kind of blessings, but we're going to give it a shot. I don't know. We're going to see how it is. It is advertising about a 10k margin, though, so we're going to see if that operates for us. Also, we just got our first pair of Devout Boots. I want to try to flip the Devout Boots throughout this entire episode, and the reason that is because the bind limit is 70, and I really think in this challenge we can capitalize on that and make a lot of money off of it. It is advertising about a 20k margin, so I am hoping to get exactly that. No more, no less. I mean, of course I would be happy with more, but I'm going to aim for that 20k margin and just consistently hit that throughout the episode. That way we can increase our consistency. Wow, and we did hit that margin on the Saradomin D'hide body. That is incredible. I'm very happy with that because we made up for the margin check cost then, and we don't have to be in the hole on that item for the rest of the episode. 52 minutes left on the clock. We just hit profit in this episode, currently at a 20k profit, so we made up for all of our margin checks. It's going to be smooth sailing from here. We did finish up on those Bandos Tassets. I'm going to try to get another 2 pair of them so we can sell them back and finish off that item. And then we'll probably cycle into the Bandos Tassets. I'm not exactly sure yet. Okay, I'm doing a very, very risky flip right 10 minutes into this challenge. We have the Ring of the Gods. Now, I did do a manual margin check because I think that should be part of the challenge, and I knew the margin would be big, so it's all about if we can actually flip this item or not. Currently advertising about a 258k margin. Can we hit it? We're gonna have to see. 45 minutes left on the clock, and I just wanted to show you guys something that I thought was kind of funny that rarely happens, but we went ahead and checked the Zamorak and Hasta to go ahead and flip it, and look at that margin, a 0 GP margin. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had a 0 GP margin. I see this like very rarely, maybe like twice a year. So hey, it's just one of those days and I'm happy to share the moment with you guys. We're currently down 338k, 43 minutes left on the clock. Guys, it is not looking good. The only things that are looking up for us is we did just get a Ring of the Gods, which is amazing. Also, the Devout Boots look like they are going to perform for us. And I just checked a great margin on the Armadillo crossbow, which I think is actually going to bring back some profit to us as long as we can hit that margin. But things are looking pretty weird right now. These god items do not flip as fast as I was expecting, so we're sitting on a lot of these flips for longer than I anticipated. just under 40 minutes left, and we actually did end up buying those Armadillo crossbows, which is great. Also, we started to sell the Zamorakian spears, which again was about a 30k margin on those, so I'm actually happy for that. It's bringing us some profit here. I think we're about to cut back on the Devout Boots, maybe the Staffs of Light as well. We've got to adjust a few things around. Also, we're having trouble with the Zamorak D'hide body and the Ceradomin D'hide body. I just knocked down the Ceradomin D'hide bodies, so I think we're getting about 35k on those now, which, I mean, is a lot less than before, but we really need to walk away with some profit on those, and quickly. Also, the Zamorakian D'hide bodies, we'll leave them for maybe another 2 minutes or so, but then they're going to get a price knock downwards. Okay, good news. After a slight price adjustment, the Zamorak D'hide bodies are starting to sell. Still zero luck with these Ceradomin D'hide bodies. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. As far as the Ring of the Gods is going, I'm going to let it go until the timer has been going for about 10 minutes or so on that item. That means none of the Rings of the Gods have bought in the past 10 minutes. So we're going to see if we can get one more and then turn it around, but if we can't in the next 2 minutes or so, then we're just going to move on from that and try to sell it, and maybe try to get another one, who knows. The Ceradomin tiers, kind of a similar situation on those, and since we did have one of the Staffs of Light buy, I'm just going to let that do its thing. Also, we're going ahead and listing the Bandos Tassets, which are advertising a very big margin actually, just under 100k, so we're getting about 90k on them, as I did put a pretty aggressive margin on it. I'm trying to capitalize on things as quickly as possible. I want to get into the profit soon because, hey, we're almost on the second half of the episode here, the second half of the timer, and I'm just a little bit nervous. I think something a lot of flippers neglect is time frames. So if you're sitting at the exchange and flipping for hours on end and you're letting items sit for too long, sometimes it's better to take 10k less per item to sell it off 5 minutes faster, because that means you can clear up a slot faster and get another flip going and make more progress overall. These Bandos Tassets are really performing for us. I'm very happy with that. Also, I've never really flipped the Devout Boots before, so I'm not sure, like, their flipping pattern, if that makes sense. I'm sure a lot of you guys will understand what I mean, but, like, how fast they normally buy and sell, how long I should be waiting in between, I don't really know, so I'm kind of freeballing it. We just turned back into the profit zone for this episode, 3k in profit so far because of all of our detrimental margin checks. But don't worry, we still have plenty of time to make some more money here, so I'm excited to see how much we actually end up with at the end. By the way, I'm kind of judging these items off of if they actually have an effect in the God Wars dungeon or not. I think if it does, that can makes it a god item. So, for example, we might be looking at the crossbow here shortly, and the crossbow is an Armadillo god item. So I think that's like one of my qualifications for god items versus non-god items. Of course, the Ring of the Gods as well, I think is fair enough to assume that is a god item. Oh, and look at that, it's sold. And finally, we got those Ceradomin D'hide bodies off as well. That took way longer than I thought. We're also going to try to sell these Ceradomin tiers at the same time as we're buying them. The Ceradomin tiers are sort of a slower flip, but at the same time, they hold really good margins, so it's important not to rush our flip. Less than 30 minutes on the clock, 28 minutes to be exact, and luckily at this point, we're 242k in profit, so that is good. I'm really hoping to get another Ring of the Gods here because that's going to be a significant margin for us to take home. I think on the last one, we actually lost a little bit of money because of the margin check, and we did sell it for a profit in the end, but the margin check before has set us back slightly. So if we get another one of these bought and sold, it's going to be pure profit on the item. We did finish up on those Tassets as well. I'm very happy about that. We're going to do the crossbow next, and we're going to see if this is going to do us well today. The crossbow is a very, it's not inconsistent, but it is a crazy item. And luckily today, it looks like we might be able to get a 40k margin on it. So we're going to do our best to actually secure that margin and make that profit. Okay, luckily we did get that Staff of Light off. It took a lot longer than I thought it would, but we've got another slot cleared up. And I think I'm going to do the Guardian Boots next, actually. Not the Leg Guards, the Guardian Boots. And for me, I don't love the Guardian Boots as I think they flip quite slowly, but a lot of people in my Discord group, they tell me that the Guardian boots are actually a really good flip, and unfortunately the margin on them is quite small today, but we're going to take it anyway, just because we need some items to flip. Nothing hurts more than sitting on an item that you really want to sell off and flip to clear up more slots to make more gold. In this episode, that has been the Ceradomin D'hide body. We were able to flip one for such an incredible margin, but now we're having trouble selling them slightly above our buy price. What a horrible item. I cannot believe we've had that luck today on it. Sometimes you can flip those for some bank, but today it's just not working out. I'm really nervous to go ahead and flip this item, but we're gonna try it anyway. The Armadillo chestplate. Oh man, this item can be very inconsistent at times and advertise margins way bigger than they actually are. So, okay, luckily we didn't lose too much money on that margin check. And that is quite a small margin, but we really need anything we can get at this point. So we're going to take about 4 of those onto the exchange here. We'll do about 3. We'll list them, let them do their thing. 22 minutes left on the clock. Oh man, I did forget about this item, but I just remembered, so I listed it. The Armadillo helmet. Oh gosh, it's got a pretty high margin. I'm really hoping that we can flip it with the 20 minutes left that we have. For some reason, I have high confidence. I don't know why, but I feel like we might be able to get a few of these bought and sold. But I do know that the past couple of days, the Armadillo helmet has been trading at about 5.1 mil. So seeing them going up to almost 5.3 mil is a little bit concerning, but this is a flipping challenge. We gotta get a little bit risky when it's coming down to the wire. Whew. The funny thing is, as predicted, these Devout boots have been such a performer this episode. They're not a quick flip, but what are we getting? 20k on each of those, I believe, which is really, really good. I'm very happy with the performance on it. While the margin on the Armadillo helmets did hit, I'm hoping we can sell another one for that, and then we're going to go back and list a few more since we only have 2 of them right now. 18 minutes left on the clock. You guys know the rules. I cannot have any flips listed on the Grand Exchange as the timer ends. So I'm really hoping things speed up a little bit here as we are struggling. We might have to knock a few things down. I am trying to stretch the margins on the Devout boots and the Guardian boots here, but I don't know, not a lot of success so far. We'll probably let them sit for 4 minutes or so before we change them and try to start selling things for the end of the episode. Luckily, we did get one of these Ceradomin tiers off, which is actually really, really nice. We were having trouble selling even one of them, so just getting that off is amazing. Also, we just got a Ring of the Gods after I knocked the margin up a little bit, so that's really awesome. Let's go ahead and flip that. Finally, literally after waiting the entire episode and knocking the margin down to basically nothing, we finally got a Ceradomin D'hide body off. I guess Ceradomin in the beginning really didn't want to help us out, man. We went to the altar, we prayed to him, and guess what? He's not going to help us out today. The tier worked, but the D'hide body... Come on, Ceradomin, what are you doing, man? 13 minutes left. Ugh, I'm gonna have trouble listing any new flips, to be honest. We're just really hoping for the Ring of the Gods to sell off and these Armadillo helmets to start selling as well. Guardian boots and Devout boots too. But besides that, I'm pretty confident we'll get the tier off and the crossbow off, so no concerns there. I also just listed some Zamorak Dragonhide sets. I'm hoping that these flip a little bit better than the individual god items or like the Dragonhide items, and there's a pretty good margin on the Zamorak Dragonhide set as well, about 40k, so we're gonna try to take advantage of that. I don't know, boys. I don't know if it's looking good or if it's looking bad. Things could really turn around with the last 12 minutes we have, but we'll have to see. 10 minutes left, and okay, guys, I'm taking a massive risk to try to make a good profit this episode. 6 Armadillo chain skirts, going for a pretty good margin here. I think we're getting over 100k on them, 120k. So this basically needs to hit, or else the profits are going to be rough for this episode. Also, don't know exactly what to do about the Armadillo helmets or the Ring of the Gods. I think I'll let the Ring of the Gods sit for basically towards the end, and then I'll maybe have to dump it, I'm not sure. But the Armadillo helmets, we're going to slowly bring them down as time goes on and try to sell them. Honestly, the original margin's not hitting. We haven't sold any with, I don't know, been 2 minutes, 20 seconds. No luck on those less than 10 minutes. We're really coming down to the wire on this one. we're gonna have to see what happens. We did get that second Ceradomin tier off, which is actually huge. 7 minutes and 43 seconds left on the clock. Really coming down to the wire here, guys. Coming up to the last 6 minutes, I decided to do, oh gosh, the prayer potions and the Ceradomin brews, and we just got dumped on for the prayer potions. Absolutely a tragic story here. Oh gosh, we're gonna have to see, wow, that was a quick flip. Never mind, I guess we're okay there. We're gonna see if these brews come through as well. Coming up to the very last 2 minutes and 35 seconds, and at the end here, I just realized we should have flipped Justiciar sets, right? Because those are a Ceradomin item, so we did miss a few good items here, but that's okay. We still made a decent recovery here with the last stretch. Coming up to the last minute and 10 seconds, we've got everything sold off, basically just waiting for one pair of the Devout boots, and then we will be done. This was definitely an interesting episode, to say the least. I mean, finding items to begin with to flip, as far as god items goes, is a little bit hard, because there's a lot of god items out there that don't have god in the name, or don't have Ceradomin, or Zambarok, or Bandos in the name, so it's kind of hard to think of items and actually search on the Grand Exchange for items that you can actually flip and that qualify for this challenge. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That is the end of our challenge, guys. And we had everything sold off at the end, which is great. We did have to get these Devout boots off for basically what we bought them for, 1 GP less, so not a big deal. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what I could have improved on during this flipping session. Maybe I missed out on certain items during this challenge that would have made me a lot more profit that I just didn't really realize in the moment. I hope you all enjoyed this flipping challenge, and I will see you all in the next one.